So welcome back. In the last topic we were discussing about the gears, that is we have discussed about the spur gears. The mainly use of the spur gears is where it can able to transmit the power or motion in the parallel shafts only. Then we have discussed about the bevel gears where in the bevel gears it can able to transmit a power only for a non-intersecting axis. So the next we have discussed about the helical gears. So the helical gears were used to transmit the power between the parallel or non-parallel axis, but it cannot able to transmit for an intersecting axis. So like this we have any different types of gears for any different applications. So this is a next we are going to discuss about the worm gear. So this worm gear are mainly used to transmit a power between the two shafts in a straight line or straight axis at their right angles, where you can able to see this worm gear. So you can able to it acts as a screw gear also. We call this as a screw gear also, where you can able to see this whenever it is rotating on the shaft, it has to, or it will be continuously coincide with the shaft, where the shaft is also having some of the teeth in the shaft, and where the whenever it drives, so based on this whenever it is intersecting between the two shafts, so it starts automatically rotating. So this has been connected to the shaft, that from that shaft it can able to transmit the power. So these about the worm gears. Now we'll see about the how it going to works. So worm gears are used to transmit a power or a motion between the two shafts having their axis at right angles. So only the worm gears can able to transmit a power or a motion between their axis at right angles, and non-intersecting one it can also transmit the non-intersecting also. So as I told, worm gear is a type of a screw gearing that consists of a screw meshing with an helical gear or spur gear. See, that is how we going to screw meshing is nothing but whenever this along with the shaft or the gear meshes, that is what we call as a screw meshing. So these is also one of the type of gear where you used to transmit a power or a motion from one shaft to the other shaft with a non-intersecting at a right angles. So these is about a worm gear. So next we are going to discuss about the rack and pinion. So this mainly you can able to, what is the function of a rack and pinion is where by using this rack and pinion we can able to convert the rotary motion to the linear motion. So the major thing of using this rack and pinion is used to transmit the power or motion, but it can also, the one more advantages of this rack and pinion is it can able to convert the rotary motion to the linear motion. See, now we can able to see the rack, in the rack where the teeth have been cutted in the straight line, where if you see the pinion, where they can able to see this in a pinion, where in the pinion it has been the teeth have been formed or cutted in the circular way. Now whenever the both are starts on intersecting, automatically now it is in the circular way, circular motion where, and it is in the linear. So that is one of the major advantages of this rack and pinion is where it can able to convert the rotary motion to the linear motion. So whenever we are required to transmit a power from in the either from a rotational motion to the linear motion, mainly we can able to use this rack and pinion. You can able to see this is circle, what we called as a pinion circle, and the difference between the two teeth what we called as a circular pitch, and here in the rack we called as a linear pitch, and this is the rack pitch distance. So the major advantages of using a rack and pinion is where it is can able to convert the rotary motion to the linear motion. So where we need to transmit a motion or a power from one form to other form, where we can able to mainly we can able to use this rack and pinion in order to transmit a motion or power from one shaft to the other shaft, whether it might be from rotary to the linear motion. As I told, a rack is a gear having a teeth cut along a straight line, while the pinion is a gear with a teeth cut along its periphery, that is along with its conical surface. With the help of the rack and pinion, rotary motion can be converted to the linear motion. As I told, this is one of the major advantage. Whenever we are in the earlier gear drives, we are discussing only the parallel or non-parallel, intersecting or a non-intersecting. But this rack and pinion is a gear drive which can able to convert that motion only from rotary to the linear in order to transmit a motion or power from one motion to the other motion. So this is one of the major advantages of using this rack and pinion. So next we are going to discuss about the advantages of gear drives. So what are the major advantages of gear drives? So gear drives can be used to transmit power or motion between parallel or a non-parallel, intersecting or a non-intersecting. As I told you, in the if you use for a rack and pinion, we can able to convert from rotary to the linear motion also. So this is one of the major advantages of using the gear drives. And gear drives are preferred to the other drives when the center distance between the two shafts is small. See, whenever we are having a center distance, that is distance between where we need to transmit a motion or power from distance between two shafts is very small, automatically gear drive can able to we can able to use a gear drives in order to transmit that power or motion between that two shafts. And the next advantage is power can be transmitted with a constant speed ratio. See, easily we can able to transmit a power at a constant rate or a constant speed in order to achieve the efficiency of a vehicle, or we can easily able to transmit the motion or power from one shaft to the other. And the next one is they can be used for a low, medium or high power transmissions. See, the gear drives are not limited to for only for a low or a high or a medium. So all the both the low, medium and high transmission power can be easily transmitted for all these low or a medium or high power transmissions in different machineries, whether it might be or different vehicles. So these are some of the major advantages of gear drives. So now we are going to discuss about some of the disadvantages of gear drives. So the gear drives are not suitable when the center distance between the two shafts is large. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, these gear drives are not usable, not suitable for a large distance. So because the distance is very small, the gear drive, why it is not suitable means because the gear drives has to intersect one or two teeth whenever it is transmitting the motion or power. So because if the distance is large means it cannot able to intersect. So that is the one of the major drawback is only it is suitable for a small distance where both the teeth has to intersect in order to transmit the power or motion. So next one is, since the teeth of the driver and the driven gears comes each other, there will always some kind of lubrication. Yes. So whenever the two moving parts are in a motion, so automatically some continuous lubrication should be required. If we don't provide a proper lubrication, automatically there is a chances of huge noise and there is a chances of breakage of the material. So if we don't provide a proper lubrication, automatically there will be a wear and tear of the both the gear drives. So that is one of the major drawback is we need to require for a continuous lubrication. So next one is cost for producing of gears is high. Yes, the cost of manufacturing the gears are high. So that is one of the major drawback. Noise and vibration is major problem when they rotate at higher speed. Yes, this is one of the drawback is because of the lubrication. So it whenever both the gears are rotating at higher speed, automatically there will be huge noise and vibrations. So these are some of the major drawbacks of the gear drives. So this is what we have discussed about the advantages or disadvantages of the gear drives. So now we have discussed about the belt drives and gear drives. So if you compare between the belt drives and the gear drives, both the gear drives also belt drives are also used for transmit the motion or power only, but depends upon that. For a large distance we are going for a belt drives, for a small distance we are going for a gear drives. But if comparing with the power transmission, so gear drive can able to transmit more power than the belt drives, and even the velocity ratio and the noise is less in the belt drives and the noise is more in the gear drives. So these are some of the advantages, disadvantages and comparison between the belt drives and gear drives. So these about the belt drives and gear drives. So thank you.